What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. And today we are doing something southern and good. We're doing my take on the classic shrimp and grits. And the first clip here, I'm showing you the two type of cheeses that I'm using. I use an old age white cheddar, and then I use a sweet white cheddar that I actually picked up from my local grocery store. I'll leave a link down below or the name of the cheeses, so if you're looking for them and you may find them at your local grocery store, you know what they are. So those are the two cheeses that we're going to actually use for these creamy grits, you guys. I have a smoky spicy shrimp with some cheesy smoky grits, and this is a dish to die for. You have to try it. So first thing is we're going to start off with making the grits. I started off with 3 cups of chicken stock, put it into a saucepan, and then 2 tablespoons of butter. Butter is always better. It's going to make those grits extra creamy. And then the rest of that you see in there, I used 2 chipotle peppers and adobo sauce that I've rough chopped up and put those in there. Now I use 2 because I love heat, so 2 is definitely going to give you a kick. If you don't want that much heat, you can just omit them altogether, or you can just only add 1. And then I let my chicken stock come to a boil. Once my chicken stock came to a boil, I then added in a cup of grits. Now this measurement is going to get you enough for 4 people. If you're making more than that, then you want to double up on the measurements and on the ingredients. So then once I added in my grits, I'm going to simply whisk with a whisk. The key to getting some creamy grits is just whisk, 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 and keep a close eye on it. You don't want your grits to burn because that's not hot, and you don't want them to be too thick because then they're going to just plop. They're not going to even be able to just go. They're not going to be even creamy. They're going to just be really sticky, and it's going to be a mess. So you just want to quickly stir the grits with your whisk. Now I did use already 5-minute ready to cook grits that I got from my grocery store. So that is definitely a must if you want it to be done within a timely manner. Just get the quick grits that cook in 5 minutes. And then once my grits came, started to cook and absorb all of that liquid, then it was time to add the cheese. I used a cup and a half of the cheese. So I used a cup of the aged cheddar cheese and a half cup of the sweet cheddar cheese, which I added there and stirred until that cheese started to melt into the grits. Once that was done, I took it quickly off the eye. I did not want my grits to cook because it's going to cook even more when you cover it up with the lid and just let it sit. So now it's time to get to the shrimp, you guys. I love shrimp. So basically what we're going to start off with is what I showed you on that yellow plate. I started off with some bacon. Bacon is always great with shrimp. I love bacon and shrimp together. It gives it another flavor. And then we're going to also use some sweet mini bell peppers. The little bell peppers that you see, they come in a bag and they're mixed variety colors. I used 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 orange, and I chopped those, dice those up into little small little blocks. And then I'm going to use 1 chipotle pepper in this as well. Now the shrimp I did season. I seasoned lightly with Old Bay seasoning. So just to give it kind of that, seafood flavor, I lightly season my shrimp. That's it. You don't need to use any salt or any pepper in this dish, you guys, because the bacon along with the grits and everything else is going to give it enough flavor. When I say you got flavor, I mean you got flavor, okay? So once my bacon started to render its fat and cook and get crispy, now it's time for me to add the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to add in the peppers, which is the sweet mini bell peppers I explained earlier, and then 1 of the chipotle peppers that I rough chopped and put in there as well. Now, once again, you can omit that if you don't want heat, or you can only use a little bit or less, actually, if you want a little bit of heat but not a lot. But once again, I love heat and spice and everything nice, so that's what I added to my dish. So once I saw that my peppers were starting to cook and become translucent, now we're going to add some more butter to this. I love butter. Butter is just great. But of course, you have to kind of be attentive, or not attentive, but be more courteous when it comes to butter, because you don't want to have health problems later on in your life. So I used 2 tablespoons of the butter and let that melt. And then once that started to melt, now we're going to add in. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. Add in the shrimp. And once again, like I said, I lightly seasoned my shrimp. My phone's going off, y'all. I don't know what's going on today. I lightly seasoned my shrimp with Old Bay seasoning just on both sides, and that was it. I didn't heavily season them because this is going to give enough flavor. So I quickly added in the shrimp. Now, when you cook shrimp, as anybody who cooks shrimp, you know when it's done when it turns pink. Once it turns pink, then take that bad boy off the eye. You don't want to cook shrimp for too long because then you're going to get some rubbery shrimp, and that's not hot. And nobody wants overcooked shrimp. I like my shrimp to be al dente with a nice soft texture to it. So once you see that the shells are starting to turn pink, you're good to go and it's done. Now I did add some chicken stock to this, which is going to give it its creamy sauce. So I'll say I added about a fourth cup of chicken stock, and I let that simmer over the stove for 5 minutes. Once 5 minutes pass, then voila, you have some nice, good, creamy, smoky, buttery shrimp, y'all. Whew, just makes me shiver. I love it. Only thing is, I wish I had bigger shrimp. These shrimps weren't big enough for me. I did leave the shells on is because the shells actually give your shrimp and the sauce more flavor and more of that seafood flavor. You can definitely take off the shells if you don't like them, but I like the look of them and I like the fact that it actually gives it more flavor. It's just like when you use chicken and you use chicken with the bone and the bone gives it more flavor. The same thing with shrimp. The shells give it more flavor. And then voila, the shrimp was done. Now it's time to plate up this good and delicious food, you guys. This food was so good. I love this dish. It was quick and easy, and it just hits all the right spots in the right places, y'all. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave them down below. Also, subscribe, comment, like, share with all your friends. Love and good eats. I'll see you on the next one.
Turn me up, don't turn me down, don't turn me down, yeah. Turn me up, don't turn me down. Turn me up, don't